Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Danny G from PBG coming to you with the Banlist hype deck profile. We're talking about Blue Hybrid. We mix Blue Hybrid with the Jellymon Amphimon package just because it correlates really well because of the source stripping, and it's just good synergy. Personally, you could build the Zudomon package. I don't like Ace just because of how fragile it is. Because of the overflow, the minus, I don't want to give my opponent memory and the ability to bounce back off of deleting anything I have with Ace on it. So I figured this is the next best thing, and let's get into it. So over here, we have our mix of cards. So we're gonna go over the deck list. Of course, Bukamon, jamming. You're definitely multi-swinging with this deck. You really want jamming so it could survive. The checks, we have Jellymon with Evade at 2. When you play this card on board, you want it to stick, so you want to make it as hard as possible for your opponent to get rid of it. So you have it at 2 just so it could be on board as an extra aggression piece. And then if you do go over it, you Digivolve, you can trash the bottom card of one of your opponent's Digimon when attacking. So it's really going to help you in the long game, which is controlling your opponent's board while being aggressive. The next piece is Strabimon. We play it at 2. It's more of a consistency piece, so when you play it, you can search out your hybrid pieces. And of course, your blue Tamers. It doesn't have to specifically be Tommy. It could also be your Kiyoshiro. We're playing this Jellymon next. The inheritable is really good because a lot of floodgates are level 3s, so you want to use this Jellymon to control the amount of floodgates your opponent has on board as quickly as possible. So what this Jellymon does is, if you play a blue tamer, draw 1, which usually will play Tommy, so you'll draw 1 off after you proc the Tommy, and then during your turn, when an effect adds a card to your hand, which is very often with the in trainings and the blue mem boost, you could bounce back a level 3, which mostly you want to bounce back the floodgates. And there's also cards that help you draw, specifically the tamer, off of the trashing and the Jellymon and going up the line. So it's really strong, just so you can keep gaining memory or keep reducing costs with all your other cards. This is definitely the best Jellymon in the deck. It's a searcher, of course, and then you get to gain memory when you trash a card, which once you go with the line, you start seeing that they start trashing cards the level 5 and the level 6. So it'll help you maintain turn as best as possible, so you could be as aggressive continuously and not pass turn and give your opponent a chance to rebuttal. Of course, we play Kuma at 4. No big explanation here. It trashes a source, and it's a cute bear, and it does what it needs to do. Korikaku, a really strong card. Definitely miss playing this card. If you go over Tommy or if you go over the Kuma, one of your opponent's Digimon with no sources can't attack or block until the end of the turn. There's not really much blockers currently in Digimon that much, but the stun effect is really strong, especially Tommy. Also, we all know what it does. Also creates another stun, so it's good board control. The Tesla will allow you to play the other tamer. You don't want to waste time playing the tamers anymore, especially with Tesla on board. Just when digivolving, play my tamer. You want to use your memory more effectively towards going up the stack, or just, controlling the board state. And it also has the inheritable of gaining a memory, so it'll go off with the jelly, and this just really help maintain board. Beowulf again, with the blue hybrid package, really helps you turbo out into your Amphi. The main stack is really good for controlling the board. You want to more into matchups figure out if it's going to be more of a stack heavy, inheritable heavy deck. You'll mostly want to focus on the main line. If it's decks like Hunters or something like that, you can freely go into the hybrid route. It'll definitely help you turbo out the Amphimon either way, but essentially you want to focus more on your matchup. So it's very diverse as well when it comes to it. So Beowulf, you may return one card with hybrid in its traits from this Digimon's evolution cards to your hand, so it helps recur the source. Return one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to its owner's hand. So it's again good board control. This card, I'm telling you, is nasty. People overlook this card from RB1. So the Wind Digivolving effect is really, really strong. It's one of the main reasons I like it, just because of the diversity on how it plays into a lot of decks. So what it does is when you Digivolve into this card, you can trash up to 2 blue cards from your hand. Any card, Tamer, Option, Digimon. And then you may trash one card from under your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. So the Tamer part's really, really good. One card from your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then until the end of your opponent's turn, one of the Digimon or Tamers without cards can't suspend. It's really, really strong. So essentially you can, when it comes to like hunters and like tapping and then reducing costs and then using the sources, if you primarily make sure that one Tamer can't suspend, they can't activate those effects. It really helps against those rush decks. So it forces an unexperienced player who hasn't played against, because really this will be a surprise deck into most people, and this level 5 is insane when it goes into those decks. Just the fact that they can't suspend the specific Tamer that they need to proc the sources from every other Tamer is really, really good. And then this allows Amphimon to suspend end of attack by returning 3 cards with Jellymon in their text. So that means the Tamer, anything that mentions Jellymon. The level 5 really is such a good piece in this deck, and the fact that you can choose the sources you strip as well is really, really strong, especially with decks that run X antibody. It helps you really pick and choose, so you don't have to directly go from like under and then you can't trash the X antibody. So it's really good that you get to pick the sources you strip. Amphimon, it's a when Digivolving and when attacking, it's not once per turn, so when you restand it, you're able to proc the effect again. So what Amphimon does is you may trash up to 2 blue cards from your hand, again any blue card, and for each one trash 1 card under your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. So again, level 5 and then Amphi, Tamer or Digimons. Really, really good. Then you may return one of your opponent's Digimon with no sources, bottom of the deck. So let's look at this card for a sec. So when it comes to decks like, again, hunters and stuff, the stripping of sources is really good. Now when it comes to something like Shine Gray, where they can have a Digimon as a blocker out and the Marcus counts as a Digimon and you can bottom deck the Marcuses, is really good. Just getting allowing them to have less Tamers and just bottom decking problem pieces. If they do have a Digimon with X antibody, it's fine. You get the sources stripped from under it. It essentially is a shell of a Digimon, and then it also has protection as well with the all turns effect. So you return 3 cards with Jellymon as well. So you really want to value the restand and the protection on it as well, to prevent the deletion from battle or effects. So you want to take into account, if I restand and I lose 3 Jellymons from my trash, am I gonna have enough to respond to the clapback? But Amphimon with the Thetismon is really, really strong combo, just mostly to control the board state. Sorai needs no explanation. Trash the top 4, and then all of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can attack. Insane card. This card, when it came out, it became blue's best friend. So here are consistency pieces. We're playing 3 Membus, 3 of the blue in trainings. The reason you're playing, you're not fully going in on the in training is because since you're digivolving on the Tamers, the in training wouldn't work when you're digivolving on the Tamers when you proc it. That's what the blue memory boost is for. So the blue memory boost, again, gain 2 memory general, and it searches top 4 cards for blue Digimon. Really good searcher. And then the in training is top 2. It is a lower cost. Going 2-2, really good into your opponent, or 3-2, putting them at 2. You want to leave your opponent with the least memory possible, and then you want to have the most consistency possible. The in training, it reduces when you would digivolve into a blue Digimon card in your hand by paying in cost. So this mostly works better for these once they're on the board. Again, you want to have a good diversity when it comes to hybrid between these two. You definitely have to play in training. Such a strong card. I really love that cost. The man. So Tommy, back. Everybody's on it right now. Everyone's talking about it. Trash 3 from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. In security, when you get hit with a Tommy, it's usually been GG. The when attacking effect, where you stun one of your opponent's Digimon, especially off the Korikaku and into the Tommy, cracked. Just stunning board in general has always been really good, and if your opponent can't attack you, they can't win. And you hit it off also with Thetismon that can't suspend. Wild. You're not playing any other Kirishiru for the fact that 1, spacing, and 2, that this Kirishiru does the exact same thing as the newer ones, and then you already have the jamming off the Bukamon, so you don't need the other Kirishiru. This one is going to do all the work, and it's also a memory tamer. So guys, here is my blue hybrid deck list. Of course, Amphimon coming in clutch. I want to see you guys top with this list. This is definitely obviously post ban list, ready for the BT14 meta. You already know, guys. It's been your boy Danny G, and stay topping.